think we are officially live. Yes, all right, we're live. Hey guys, I am Barb and welcome to episode 4 of Creators Campfire. If you're new here, then this is a live stream podcast where I interview all sorts of creative people, entrepreneurs, content creators, side hustlers, and general aspiring talent to find out what they do, why they do it, and how they do it. So tonight we have Zoe Davies joining us tonight, who is an executive sales leader at Avon. And I'm very, very excited because I think there's a lot of good stuff about to come up. Guys, please welcome Zoe. Hey, Zoe.
Good evening.
How are you?
Fine, thanks. Are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you firstly for being on. This is very cool.
Thanks for inviting me.
And hopefully people will jump on as the episode carries on. Guys, if you're joining us, feel free to at any point drop any comments, any questions or anything like that. Drop it in the comments box. Both Zoe and me can see it. So as we go through, if it fits, we'll ask the questions as they go along. But anything we can't get to, we'll come back to at the end and we'll have a little Q&A for everything else that comes up, basically. So, Zoe, for those that don't know anything about you or what a sales leader is, or to be honest, sometimes maybe even don't know what Avon is, could you introduce yourself in a bit about what you do?
Okay, so name's Zoe. I'm an advanced executive sales leader with Avon, and I've been doing this for 15 years now. It really is my dream job. I absolutely adore it because I'm helping other people, and I'm helping other people make money and changing lives, and it really is so rewarding. And the different people that you meet is amazing. You get some ladies and gentlemen that just come on this one to basically just the social side of it, maybe just meet a few more people. Then you get other people that really want to build a big business. So you never know when you get up in the morning what you're gonna get with this business.
Yeah,
it really was great.
So you just mentioned there you've been doing this for 15 years. Did you know when you started that this is as long as you were going to do it for, or this is where you're going to be?
Well, I kind of fell into Avon, really. When I left school, I was a bit of a rebel. I went to horses, I didn't go to college, didn't go to uni, loved it, worked in Maker Adventure theme park, had a great teenage years. And then I went to retail, really enjoyed retail, worked my way up to manager's position, and had my first daughter, Megan. So I said, no, I'm going back. I've worked so hard to get this job, and you're where I am. So I went back full time with 16 weeks in. You lived in maternity leave in those days.
Wow, no way.
So a little baby went into nursery, and then I had my son Sam 18 months later. And at that point, I realised I couldn't do what I was doing. I couldn't do the hours, the weekends. It was just too much with 2 babies. So we were looking around, me and my partner Andy, we were looking for just a way to cover some of my income because we've got a car valeting business at the time as well.
Right.
And I was in another network company, and one of my customers' daughters rang me and said, would you like to do Avon? I said, well, I never really thought about it. It wasn't, it just, well, I said, okay, bit of extra money. So so she came round and we had a chat, and I started with Avon. So I really kind of fell into it. It wasn't planned at all.
Wow. And I guess it's maybe now a little bit what people think old-fashioned, but I guess 15 years ago, was it quite well known? Is it the sort of thing that everybody knew about?
Yeah, I mean, Avon the brand name is huge brand recognition, and I think that makes it a very, very easy business to come into and sell from the brochures. I mean, actually, I had never ever bought Avon. I had Avon books from my door, but I'd never ever bought Avon until I started Avon. So as soon as I got those smelly pages, they were fantastic. Yeah. But yeah, and then so I started on the Thursday, and my area manager said, "Can I come around and see you?" And I thought, "Oh no, what have I done? I thought I've done something wrong already." And she said, "Would you like to try sales leadership?" And at the time, it was very, very ground floor. It only just really started with Avon. And I didn't know much about that either. So I said, well, I'll give it a go. I knew a little bit about network marketing from the company I've been with previously, but not a lot. So I was in really at the very beginning when sales leadership first started.
So just for those that are joining or will listen to this afterwards that maybe don't know how Avon works or what a sales leader and a rep is there a real quick summary you can give before we go on and talk about the kind of nitty gritty?
Yes, so representatives show the brochures around to family, friends, neighbours. We've got the online stores now and instant virtual brochures that they can show. They collect orders in and they earn commission from the orders that they collect in. As a sales leader, it's just an extension of that. So as a successful representative yourself, you're just showing other people how to get started. So you're just sharing the knowledge that you've built up with your own business and building a team, and then you earn commission off that team as well.
So sorry, I missed. You said that it wasn't actually that long before your area manager had come in to say, do you want to now be a sales leader and start telling other people about this new thing? Is that, when she's telling you this, is this quite scary? Is this like, oh, this is great, this is a whole new business? Or what's kind of going through your mind at that point?
Yes, it was. I knew a little bit about network marketing, but not a lot. So I knew kind of what it was, and I had been doing catalogs, so I knew the catalog side of it, so I knew that I'd be able to help people get started on that side of it. But I literally started on the Thursday, the 12th of July 2005, and on the Monday I was a team builder, and and I was putting my first order through as I was showing my new team members how to put theirs through as well. Wow. So it was quite scary. Yes, it was at the time.
Do you think that having that experience in retail and working your way up to being this manager had helped you be that sales leader almost straight away, or is it not? Is it something that was already in you and you could do?
I think I've always, wherever I work, when I work with the horses, I ended up running the yard, so I've always kind of worked my way up. I'm just a bit bossy, really. But the thing with Avon, I'm not a manager of my team. I'm there to help and support them. So I never look at myself as a manager with them. I'm just there to help, to support them, to guide them. And whatever their goals are, we find out anyone who's in my team, what their why is, why they want to do it, and then we work their goals out through that.
Yeah, okay. So it's the helping people side that is the... Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. So you're not long in, you've already become a sales leader. How does that then evolve? So walk me through, I don't know, the next 3, 6, 12 months of what that's like.
Right. Well, at that point, my mum told me to get a proper job.
Okay. Sounds like my mum.
She wasn't happy that I was doing Avon, so she wanted me to get a proper job. I had 2 years before Sam would have started full-time school. So I had 2 years really to make this work, or I would have had to go back to full-time work. So there was quite a big incentive there. So I pushed forward. I mean, I was there's nothing that I will ask my team to do that I've not done myself. So I've been up, I've done 2 markets a week, got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, stood out on markets all day, town centre swoops, door knocking. Hello, you have Avon book, let me hear it. So I've done it all. There's nothing that I'd ask my team to do that I haven't done myself. And yeah, so we pushed forwards. Within 2 years, I got to executive level on the old pallet plan. And at that point, there was another funny thing that happened. It was a gentleman in another area who was a sales leader, and he sent me an email and he says, "You show that an ordinary woman can achieve great things," which I thought was brilliant.
Wow. How did you find? Okay, so like you've got 2 young kids and you're obviously doing this part-time because you don't want to go back into full-time. What are the kind of hours that you're doing, and how did that change over time as you kind of got more into it? And did you think going in you would be doing the hours that you ended up doing?
I was always very strict at the beginning. I didn't work weekends and I didn't work evenings. So I grew. So while the children were young, they really didn't think I worked. So the balloting company was that was our main breadwinner at the time. So that was where all the focus was. So I was just building this up gradually in the background. As the children got older, I could obviously start to devote more time then to the business. My daughter's got epilepsy, so this worked really well with me being at home as well. Worked really, really well. Yeah, and gradually as they got older, I just worked more hours as they became more independent.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. In terms of mindset going in then, so a lot of people, well, at least from what I've seen, and I guess I'm talking nowadays and the people that I'm kind of seeing, they kind of think that this whole thing happens overnight, and they almost expect that they'll start something and all of a sudden there'll be a success. And I don't think they necessarily see the hard work that goes into these kind of things. but also because they go in with a different expectation, I think things don't necessarily meet that. So going in, was your mindset, did you have, because I know you quite like setting goals at this point, did you have a mindset? I know you've got this, 2-year period where you say I have to make it work, but did you say, well, I have to achieve this by 1 month, or was it just, something, I'm going to see how it goes and take it day by day almost?
I think initially it was see as it goes, but then when I realised that this was something that I was good at, I could do, and I was building a good team. So that was when I really started setting goals. And every year I'd break down my goals, and as you said, I'd break them down monthly. I'd have a year-end goal, and every year I was hitting my year-end growth. So we just kept pushing forwards and forwards.
Bit of a random one. If you weren't necessarily good at it, or it wasn't either what you were expecting or it was not quite working, what do you think you would have done in that situation? Would you have maybe persevered for the 2 years anyway, or?
I think, I would have done, because I was at home anyway. So, yeah.
Right, yes. I mean, so it's kind of nothing to lose.
Yeah, I did have other little things running alongside at times. We've tried a lot of, we've been quite entrepreneurial over the years. So we have tried quite a lot of other bits and bobs. So I was doing Avon and the little bits and bobs as well. But it was Avon was the one that came through for me. That was the one that I really enjoyed. And that was the business that worked for me.
And are there any, so when you're doing all these other things, I guess at the same time, were there learnings that you could take from those other things into Avon? Or how did you know that this was the one? I guess, was it just the sales or the money coming in at the end of it, that this is the one you wanted to stick with?
I think Avon kind of gets into you. I think if you cut me in half, it would say Avon. Yeah. And that's kind of it. And the people that you meet as well. Yeah. I mean, a lot of my sales leaders, my core sales leaders now have been with me 10, 12 years. I've got one of my original representatives, Denise. I knocked on her neighbour's door, asked, would you like to do Avon? She said, oh no, but my next door neighbour loves Avon. And the chance of, and she rang me back, and Denise is my longest standing rep now. I think she's been with me 14 years. So I have made some amazing friends, and seen people, and our children have grown up together, and it's really been, it's that side of it as well. It's not just about the money and the business side.
Yeah. So you just knew it was a fit. It was like almost meant to be that this is what.
Definitely.
Okay. So I think I may have made this up. So correct me if I'm wrong. Did you do Avon and then stop and then come back, or is that completely made up?
It's made up.
Okay. Awesome. So how did, and I guess 15 years ago, even 13 years ago, when you've kind of got to this level, you've decided that this is what you want to do and you're good enough to make a go of it. How does that, with not the social kind of side of things that you have now, how different was it back then trying to create a business versus maybe what you're looking at now if you were trying to enter?
Totally different business, really. Online now, it's just so different. I mean, I did have a really kind of almost shove, we'll put it that way, with Avon about 6-7 years ago. The balloting business, we had a bad debtor that we nearly closed down overnight.
Oh wow!
So luckily, we had Avon was at a stage where it was bringing money in, but not enough to live off. So that really gave us the push to really push forward with Avon, because we realised then that this is a business that's just going to keep going and keep growing, whereas the balloting traditional conventional business it was very sad. We've still got the balloting business. My son actually does it now. But we had a really bad few years, and it was Avon that got us through that.
Wow. Okay. Maybe that's what I'm kind of. I knew there was something. Okay. So between back then and this point where you've really got to make a go of it, was it kind of like almost smooth sailing because it was the secondary income? Is it just a case of you were good at it, you were doing it part-time while the kids were growing up, so it was just there and it was just ticking along, really? And
then the pressure came when I had to grow it. Okay. So, that was when the pressure came, and that was about 5 years ago. And I can remember I was sat with a divisional manager at the time, and we were talking and discussing where I wanted to be. And she said something to me that stuck in my head, and it was, if you do the same, you get the same. And I'd been growing nicely, and the business, but it wasn't growing like I wanted it to. So that was really when everything started to change.
Okay. So you kind of had it in the back of your mind anyways, but this situation, I guess, forced you to do something. Right. Okay. So you're in this situation, you've had this conversation, something needs to change. What do you do? What's going through your mind? How do you approach that?
Basically looking at the market and where do we go? And it obviously was online 5 years ago. There weren't a lot of people, we didn't even have the online stores then. So I bought a course, which I haven't studied for about 25 years. So I bought this course. I think it cost me a few £100, which I thought was a huge amount of money at the time.
Yes.
Good to me because I'd not studied, I'd not done anything like that. So I started learning. It was a boot camp, some kind of business builders boot camp, and it went through every platform. So I started to learn about Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I mean, 4.5 years ago, I won't even comment on a Facebook post. And now my Facebook page is up to 19,000 followers, and it's unbelievable how it's grown. And I think people think that I've always been very social and very on social media and online, and I wasn't at all. I wasn't. When we first started calls, I even bought a pair of glasses because I didn't like looking at myself on video.
Wow. Okay.
Anyone can.
Yeah. Okay, so to be honest, you sound like you're describing me. How much was it the course that was like great, or was it was the course a trigger, or was there something in the course? As in, if somebody was doing it, could they literally pick any course, or do they have to spend their time researching and finding the right one? How important is it to do that? And is it important to do a course?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, when I started doing these social media courses, I thought they would just tell me how to advertise, because I'd been on Google AdWords for quite a few years, so I knew how to do Google AdWords. I didn't know how to advertise on social media or how to work social media and be social. So I bought this course and I thought it would just tell me how to do Facebook ads. And it didn't. And it was talking about tools and apps. And I'm thinking, I don't want to learn about this. I just want to know how to advertise, because that was what my mindset was. I just wanted to advertise. And I didn't understand social media at all. So I was really annoyed with this course, but I thought I'm going to carry on going through it. I thought I'm going to carry on working through it. And it was showing me all these different tools, and I went to Canva and Pixabay and WordSwag. And I'm thinking, well, what do I need all these for? And and then it all started to fall into place. Creating the content and blogging. I mean, I used to really enjoy blogging. I don't, as it's been a bit of a catch-22, because as the team's grown, the social media side of it has really grown the team, but it's meant I've actually got less time now to spend with social media, because I spend more time with the team, which I love my team, but I'm trying to get back at the minute to spend more time on my platforms, and I really, really enjoy being on them.
Yeah, it's kind of like a teacher, isn't it, at school, where the really good teachers get promoted to be the head or the head of year or the headmaster, and all of a sudden the great teachers aren't teaching anymore, and it's like they're not doing the bit that got them in there in the first place. Okay, so you've worked out social media. Before you took this course, were you mentioned Google AdWords there, was that all you were doing then? So it was just advertising your website, I'm assuming, just trying to drive traffic.
It's so easy, and you just put an advert on there and you pay. And that's it. Whereas I think that's why I just love Facebook ads so much, because it's an art. It's creating the content and doing the audiences, and I love training people how to do it as well, and seeing their adverts start to grow and start to work. And so when we were doing it as well, if you thinking about 4 years ago, Facebook pages then they were growing so fast, and we were getting the organic reach, and it's a lot harder now with Facebook pages. You just don't get the reach with it. It is very much pay to play now.
Yeah. No, that's true. So what other platforms then were you? So the course obviously covered lots of different platforms, did you say?
Yeah.
But were you then still focused on Facebook, or did you actually just venture out into all of them?
Facebook seems to be where the majority of what my ideal audience is for Avon. That's where I get most of my representatives from, my customers. But Instagram, I've not done a lot with Instagram recently, but my Instagram was really growing at one time. I took a little photography course, bought a little camera, and I was taking my own photos. And because it's authentic, it's unique, so it wasn't the stock photos that everyone's using with Avon. And I was creating my own quotes and making a really nice Instagram with. it was so coordinated. It was lovely. I've just got my camera down again, but I've just bought some products, so I want to restart that, because I was really enjoying my Instagram, and I think I find people on Instagram really friendly as well. I do like Instagram, and then Pinterest. I love Pinterest. My first pin that went, virally, it drove 2,000 people to my website in one day, and it was the first. Yeah, it was a pin about a blog that I'd done. Put it on, and I thought, where's all this traffic come from? And it just been picked up and repinned and repinned and repinned, and it was brilliant. But again, it was with Instagram. I couldn't understand to begin with. How do you make this work? The same with Pinterest, and it's just understanding the platforms and what they are. Pinterest is a giant search engine, and it's just understanding the platforms.
Yeah, I think Pinterest is probably a little underrated as well. It's not really thought of in the same respect as everything else. Everyone goes Instagram first, and then maybe like Facebook.
Pinterest drives half my organic traffic to my website.
Wow.
Yeah, from my blog, in the blogs. Yeah.
If you're listening, check out Pinterest. Okay, so in terms of how much time then you were spending, how much more effort or time did you have to put in with all the social kind of things? I'm assuming this is when you went kind of part-time. Is this when you went part-time to full-time?
Yes, it would have been. Yeah. I can remember I did a sheet and I showed it to somebody. Went, you can't possibly do all that. And I literally wrote down every hour in the week on what I was going to be doing when I was writing blogs, when I was doing my other management of my team. I had to be so organised and with the studying as well, because I did a level 3, then a level 4 social media course online. It took me a year each, and then I did the one with the Digital Marketing Institute. Digital marketing, so I'm basically a qualified social media marketer with it. Gave me a globally recognised qualification, and it's the first time I've done an exam. I had to go to an exam centre. I haven't been to an exam centre. It was really scary.
Oh man, yeah, no, exams aren't fun. You kind of think you leave them behind at school. That's the last thing you want to do.
At the Pearson Exam Centre with all the kids doing the driving test one.
Oh man. Okay, so you've obviously invested over the years both time and money into courses. How important, and I think we've heard the answer, but how important were those to growing your business and getting where you were?
Yeah, I can't say how much. If I hadn't done that, my business wouldn't have grown like it did.
I think people, I don't know, I think people maybe think that they're a bit hesitant about paying for these things, because I don't know whether they assume it should be free, or they're like, oh, what if it's not good, or I'm wasting money, what if I don't like it, or those kind of things. Whereas I guess if you think about uni, you pay how much for an education that you might not even ever use. I don't use probably most of what I learned at uni or even school, whereas these courses and these investments are probably tiny in comparison, but are so specific and specialized that they could give you so much that people kind of, I don't know, dismiss them maybe.
I know. It's interesting because when I look back to 2017, that was when my team really started to grow, and people started to notice because I was shooting up the league tables, and quite a few people got in touch with me and said, what are you doing? And I told them exactly what I was doing. And then I've spoke to these same people last year, and they've said, oh, we wish we started it when you did. There's quite a few people have said that now. Yeah, so we wish we'd started it when you did. But no, I mean, that initial course was £300 I paid for, and I thought that was so much money. I thought, cracking, it's a lot of money. And I mean, I've paid thousands now for some courses I've done, and I'm more than willing to do it. I actually just paid £4,500 for the course I did last year.
Wow.
And I will invest in that, and I will continue to invest in myself now.
Have you ever done a course that you've obviously paid for that was just crap?
Just not one of the expensive ones.
Well, I guess what I'm getting to is do you ever have to put that investment in and then it turns out to not be quite what you expected? You're like, oh, I lost some money. What's it? If it is, what's your mindset about that? Is it just, it is what it is, and you move on to the next one?
Yeah. I mean, I've got a lot of little courses that I've bought over the years that I'm like a quarter of the way through and then got bored. The bigger ones I've researched them well, and I've known exactly what I want from them. Because I've not only done the social media courses, I also did a personal development course last year. Because I thought I needed a bit of I just felt like I needed a change from learning social media. I thought I needed to find out by myself, and it's helped me with my team as well. And actually at home, it was a fantastic course I did last year.
Yeah. Do you find, out of interest, that people don't necessarily listen to your advice because it's free?
I found. I mean, I run courses for the team, and I think, cracky, I've paid a lot of money to learn this, and then people are turning up sometimes and not turning up, and then not implementing what we do. And I'm thinking, I've spent a lot of money, not just in learning the social media and doing the courses, but then investing in the advertising to find out what works. And I come with Facebook adverts. I spent £1,000 before I even started generating any leads, but I was determined it was going to work. So I kept going and kept going. And now Facebook ads are fantastic for me. They've been a huge growth for my business.
Yeah, I guess that's a testament to your mindset, though. And again, it comes back to that. People go in with the mindset of they're expecting things to just happen. It's like, oh, I paid for an ad. Why haven't I got results? Whereas I think that's exactly the great thing that you've done. You've gone, I know this investment will pay off. It might take 6 months. It might take 12 months. But you know something, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to be consistent, and I'm going to wait, and I'm going to put in the effort rather than, oh, we didn't work after 1 or maybe 2 tries and then just give up.
Consistency is a word I use all the time in my team, all the time. It's the same with writing blogs, with anything with social media. It takes time. I can remember when the website first started converting leads as they were coming through. It was amazing. It was just, all this work. And I knew it would. I always knew it would pay off. I knew that the work that I was doing would work.
So okay, I don't know if it's just me, but I don't have that same mindset. I'm one of the hesitant ones, and I'm like, oh, is it not? Is it worth it? Is that a mindset you've always had about just life, maybe? Or is there something you're doing that makes you think, you know something, I'm doing the right thing? It is going to work because I know exactly what I'm doing.
I've always gone with my gut instinct, always. So generally, if I've decided that I really want to do something, this is the way I'm going to go, then that is the way I'm going to go. Nothing stops me. I say to the team, if it's working, do more of it. If it's not working after a while, then stop it and do something else. But I've always had this thing, right, I will just keep going and going. I'm a big believer. I write all my goals down. I had a 5-year plan. Earnings plan, commission plan, and in year 3 I wanted 1,000 representatives at the end of the year. That was my goal. I had 1,001. In year 4 I wanted 1,250. I had 1,250. It's unbelievable. It's how just writing things down and believing in where you want to go.
Yeah, okay, that I do completely agree. And I personally, I try it, and then I'm the type of person that gives up. And I know I'm saying these things, but look, let's see how far this goes, right? I'm the kind of person that's like, oh, I'm not sure. But part of me thinks that's because I haven't found the right thing for me that necessarily I do want to keep going with. And part of me is like, is it just how I am? But I'm leaning towards it. When you find the right thing, you will kind of just do it, because it then becomes about, I guess what they say, it becomes about the process rather than necessarily the goal. So yes, you have a goal, but you enjoy the journey, you enjoy the process of getting there. Whereas if you hated that, it doesn't matter what your goal is, you're never going to reach it, because like it's not enjoyable, right?
I've always learned as well now, one thing I have learned is when you hit your goals, enjoy it, because I was so guilty. I hit a goal, next goal, hit a goal, next goal, and I wasn't actually sitting back and enjoying it, thinking, oh great, I've done that, I've achieved that. So I have learned now. I think anyone who's setting goals, everybody should set goals. Always make sure that you recognize when you've got there, and you celebrate a little and give yourself a bit of a pat on the back. And because I'm a terrible, I just want the next win.
yeah, no, completely. For somebody who is looking to set their first goal, maybe they're listening and then they're like, oh, okay, I've never set a goal. Maybe I'm going to set a goal. Where do you recommend they start? Because I guess you don't, well, actually I've heard 2 versions of this. Some people like to set an impossible goal, that's, you know, just way, way, way out there, but it teaches you to keep going. And some people are like, start small, make it achievable. Then when you tick it off, it gives you that kind of adrenaline kick, the dopamine hit, and then you go on to the next one. Where do you sit with that?
If I'm with some of my team, and we look at 3 goals: one to make you healthier, one to make you happier, and one to make you wealthier. So if you start off with happier, healthier, wealthier, it's really easy to think about. And as you say, if you set goals that are way out there, you're just going to get despondent. So I'm constantly reevaluating all my goals anyway. But what I do, we'd set a goal, we'd set one that was within reason, and we'd just chunk it down. And I think it's just those little steps, a little bit every day towards that goal. I love SMART goals. So everything we have to set has to be a SMART goal.
Yeah.
And I think it's finding people's why as well. And the goal's got to be aligned to their values, what their personal values are. Yeah. It's no good having a goal if somebody else has set it for you. It's got to be in alignment with your why and what. So it's really finding their why first as well. My why has always been my family. With this, it's always been my family. We moved house last year, and that was a huge goal because we'd been in a little terraced house for 19 years, and then we moved to a 4-bedroom cottage with a big garden, and it's been lovely, and it's been so nice just because it was all been done for my family.
Yeah, no, that makes everything worthwhile, all the hard work. Has there ever been any time, and I know how much you love Avon and doing what you do, but has there been any point at which you've gone, I can't do this anymore?
I did get a little bit of overwhelm about 18 months ago. The business started to really grow fast. It was growing, and I think I emotionally wasn't keeping up. I was capable of running it as a business, perfectly capable. I've got the drive to do it and the business acumen, but I think emotionally I was just finding it a little bit too much. So I've had a business coach for the past 3 years, and she has been invaluable. And just going to her, talking to her, and I just worked through it. But I think that's been the only time, and that would just be. I mean, it was a good time because the business was growing really fast, but it was just a lot to take in at the time, and I did get a bit of overwhelm with that. I do tend to burn myself out every now and again, but as I've got older, I can kind of recognise now when I'm pushing myself too far, and I will sit back now.
Yeah. And do you have any useful techniques for dealing with that, or the same thing, or is it just experience that over time you notice the triggers and you're like, okay, this is about to happen, just take a step back?
Yeah, I think it comes with age. As I realise, yeah, I realise when I'm just pushing myself a little bit too far, and I'm no good. I can't pour from an empty cup. I'm no good for my team if I'm burnt out. So that was the other thing I've realised, because before I'd just keep going, and then I'd be, I've had enough, and then I couldn't look after my team, so I stopped now, and I say no. It's one thing I've learned as well as I've got older, to say no. I wasn't very good at that before.
Is there a particular habit that you do or have done that has helped you just as a kind of team leader?
I think it's just understanding people, and understanding that I was very much, when I first started, I thought everybody would want to do it like I did, and everybody wanted to go full pelt and build huge businesses, and that was a big learning curve for me now. And now it's about finding out people's why they want to do it, letting everybody work at their own pace, but always being there and being supportive. But that was a huge learning curve. I just thought everybody wanted to do it like I did. So yeah, it's I have to sit back a little bit and yeah.
No, fair enough. So for somebody, I was going to say starting out on this journey, but I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be with Avon for this question. If somebody's starting out, maybe they're in a similar situation, they've got young kids, they want to do something, is there any particular advice you would give them, whatever kind of route they're going down, in terms of how to approach the mindset, or some guidance on how to find something and follow that path?
I was lucky that I found, Lynn kind of found me. So we've always been very supportive towards each other. And that's the biggest thing I see in this business, that people don't feel supported by their team leader. They just join with anybody, and then they get disillusioned and they leave. So find a business that you like, find a product that you like. I mean, you've got to love the product. I mean, I love Avon, full stop. So if you love candles, go and find whatever, you've got to love the product. And then it's finding the right person. So don't just join with the first person that you see. Find somebody that you gel with, that you get on with, and you're going to be working with them for a lot of years, working together with them.
I have one more question on social media. So we've covered Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest. Are there any other platforms like TikTok that you use or would like to use or see value in using? And what is your opinion on kind of the best approach?
Right, TikTok, I have downloaded it. That's as far as I've got.
Fair. That's as far as I got, and then I stopped.
All the girls in the team are really enjoying it. They're really enjoying it. I've got to look though at the demographics of the people that I want to put my content in front of, and I just think TikTok's a little bit too young, really. I know what my ideal representative for their age, I can everything about them, and I know my ideal to a customer, and they're not really on TikTok. LinkedIn, I've used a little bit, but again, it's not really my ideal representative, ideal customer on there. I'm probably business builders more from LinkedIn, so I've got a little bit of presence on LinkedIn. Twitter, I did start using Twitter, but I didn't get very far with Twitter at all. So I don't know, just me and Twitter don't seem to gel that much.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So clearly the answer is you don't have to be on every platform. You can just make the ones work that suit you. So if you are good with the pictures, then Instagram. If you're good with the words, then you can probably make Twitter work. And if you're good with videos, I'm sure you could make TikTok work, right? It's
well, YouTube's my next channel. That's my next. I've got a YouTube channel and a bit of a presence on there. But that is for this year. That's my focus this year. So I'm quite looking forward to that.
You heard it here first, guys. YouTube. Zoe on YouTube is going to be big. You just mentioned there in terms of knowing your demographic on the platform. How do you? It might be a stupid question, but how do you know that? Is it a case of download the app and scroll through it for a couple of hours to see what it's like, or is it actual physical Googling and research into someone telling you?
If you go on Google, you can get all the demographics of each platform. And then if you, Facebook's got the wonderful audience insights. From the adverts, you can see who's interacting with your ads, and you just gradually, you get to the point where you know exactly the age to target, interest to target.
So I guess with like Facebook ads, you have to go through that journey. So maybe the first, and I don't really know how much they cost, but say the first couple of £100 is kind of just experimenting and testing the waters to see, kind of like a scattergun approach almost, maybe.
Yeah, it's very different with Facebook because people go in and they put an advert on, they just expect people to enter, and it's not. It's about building your audiences up, then your cold audiences, your warm audiences, and knowing what audiences you want to target, knowing what KPIs you're going to be looking on, what you want for each, and it's about building audiences up. And people don't look at it like that. They run an ad and they want to get leads from it or reps from it or customers from it. But I don't. If I run an advert, I'm building audiences up all the time that I can then reuse and remarket to. I do a lot of remarketing from my Facebook, from my website, back to Facebook. So it's all.
Okay. I like that. That makes a lot of sense. If you were giving yourself advice, 15 years ago, Zoe, if you were giving yourself some advice now, knowing all the things you know, what would you say to her?
Read more and study.
Okay.
I didn't. When I left school, I don't think I read a book until probably 10 years ago. And the business growth that I had came from when I started studying, came from when I started reading. Another phrase that I like is your income will never exceed your personal development. And that was so true in my business. I was growing a business, and I was growing it out of pure hard work and grit. And I was just determined that it was going to work. As soon as I started studying and upskilling myself, that was when it exploded. That was what made that difference. So you can work yourself into the ground, and yes, you'll grow a business, but as soon as you actually start working on yourself, work twice as hard on yourself as you do in your business, and it will make a huge difference.
Okay, and it comes back to that whole investing in yourself and go, okay, that's cool. Guys that are watching live, if you have any questions or comments or you just want to say hi, drop them in the comments box below, and we'll get to them in just a minute. To be honest, if you're just watching, say hi. It'd be nice to see who's out there. All right, cool. I had one more specific question before we get onto the rapid fire, which is my favorite bit. If you could put a message out on a giant billboard to like millions and millions of people, what would it be and why?
I think it would have to be what kick-started me 5 years ago, which is if you do the same, you get the same. And I really, really, really think that, that's always what sticks in my mind, what kind of started this. And it's just pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. I read, what was it the other day? It was Jack Canfield. He said, if you're not doing something every day that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, you're not growing. And I think that every day now. I think, have I done something today that I've pushed myself out of my comfort zone with?
Yeah, I have not. Definitely not. That's where I'm going wrong. All right, cool. Are you ready for some rapid fire?
I am.
Okay. Here we go. I'm excited. Right. What's the first word that comes into your head right now?
Love.
Favorite pizza topping?
Oh, pepperoni.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
To fly.
A lot of people say that. What TV show are you binge watching right now?
Oh, the other one on BBC One about the sisters.
Oh, not heard of it. Okay.
White Lines, fantastic on Netflix. Everyone will know White Lines.
I've seen that one either. Okay. I'm old school. I'm watching that 70s show because I didn't watch it the first time round. But anyway, one person, dead or alive, you'd like to have dinner with?
Oh, Jack Canfield.
Top thing on your bucket list?
Get a horse. That is mine. I want a horse. That's all at the minute. That's all, everything is focused on at the minute. Even down to losing weight. I'm running in the morning, going back. I'm just waiting to open up.
The next time I speak to you, you'll probably have one. One thing you're grateful for?
Health. My family's health.
If you could travel back or forward in time to any period, where would it be? Or when?
Well, I don't know. I've never been really into history. I could travel forward 200 years. Yeah.
Are you a morning or an evening person?
Morning. 100%.
Yeah. Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Lovely. Texting or talking?
Talking. Yeah.
Netflix or YouTube?
That's a hard one. YouTube.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
TV or book?
Book.
Pen or pencil?
Pencil.
Really?
Not very often. Not very often I use a pen.
Passenger or driver?
Driver.
Cooking or baking?
Cooking.
You passed. That was fun. That was easy. That was nice and fun. Is there anything that I haven't talked about? Anything you'd like to say before I plug you?
No, it's just I say that the biggest takeaway I've got from myself over the past 15 years is that, yes, I worked really hard and the business was growing, but it wasn't until I started investing in myself that the business did grow. So I think that's my biggest takeaway, my biggest learning myself from the past 15 years.
I think that's great, because I think it's one of those things that people often don't think or dismiss or kind of glance over and don't pay enough attention to, whether it's a money thing, which it doesn't always have to be, like books, library.
I mean, I've done a lot of YouTube ones, Udemy. There's a site called Udemy. I've done so many courses on there for about £10 each. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a big investment. Guys, for anybody who's watching or will be listening and rewatching that is interested in Avon, either becoming a rep or a sales leader or being part of Zoe's team, which is amazing. And Zoe has an insane amount of knowledge about both business, Avon, and social media. Then please get in touch with Zoe. She's got a website. It's makeupinbusiness.com. It's rolling across the bottom for those that you are live. Oh no!
I'm sure I've got .com as well linked up to it.
Come on. Right, there we go. Makeupinbusiness.co.uk. And Zoe can be found on both Facebook and Instagram at makeupinbusiness. I don't know .co.uk to get wrong there. So I'm sure she'll be happy to hear from you on any platform. Go and find her. I'm sure you'll agree that this has been a lot of fun, and there was a lot. I could probably still talk for another hour, but I'm not going to do that to you because we've all got lives. But so much knowledge. Guys, reach out, say hi, and go and follow Zoe. Just going to check. Guys, if there are any questions, drop them in the comments now before I wrap up. Otherwise, well, just say hi. It's nice to say hi. Cool. I think we're about there. Awesome. Right, Zoe, first and foremost, thank you so much for doing this. This has been great. I've learned a lot, both about you and stuff in general, which is great. This has been a lot of fun. Guys, this recording will be available. It'll be on Facebook on facebook.com/Project Life Admin. It will also go up on my YouTube channel in its entirety. And there will be a podcast probably tomorrow at evening, I'd say, for the audio recording if you don't have time to come and watch us live. Zoe, any parting remarks?
No, I've loved it. Thank you for inviting me on.
Awesome. No worries. Guys, thank you to everyone who joined us live, everyone who will be listening afterwards. You can stay up to date with all podcast news at projectlifeadmin.com or on Instagram at projectlifeadmin. I'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place, different guest. Be well, be kind, stay safe, stay curious, go invest in yourself, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, Zoe.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, guys.